Well, g'day everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about some lighting. Now, everyone that follows me knows that I have a real love of lighting. In fact, I'm always sort of chasing different looks and things like that. Well, also, if you have been following me for a while, you know how I do have a love of ice lights. And there's been nothing similar that I've really wanted to use. But SOONWELL contacted me just recently and said, would I be interested in looking at a tube light that they were just about to sell? And I had a look at it and I thought, well, why not? So they've sent me a couple of them, which I'm going to show you working later on to show you how I might use them in the studio. But this is the light itself. So if you're looking at it here, this is it. So they're actually the same size as an ice light. They're, in fact, the center part here where the light comes out is a fraction larger, but they're not as bright as an ice light, but they're actually a third of the price. So that's something else that you've got to consider. But they have other features that the ice light doesn't have. Like, in fact, you can, these are RGB lights as well as getting daylight as well. And also they come with multiple effects and things like that as well. They have a great little control that I'll take you through up the top here that is really nice to use as well. And it also has a magnetic feature as well that you can stick onto, say, light stands and things like that, which is really great. But let me show you the website so you can have a look at what these lights actually are. Now, okay, so these are the lights themselves. You can see here that they're only $119, which is a bargain if you think how much you would pay, say, for an ice light. But they're really nice because you can see they come in multiple colors, so you can change this to go right through the whole spectrum, as well as, say, doing some effects and things like that if you wanted to do that as well. If I scroll down, I'll just show you a couple of things about this. Like I said, that's the interface that we're dealing with, and I'll show you these, how they work soon, and I'll also show you what's in the box, because like I said, I've unboxed one, but I'll unbox one in front of you so you can see what's in it. You can see on this one too how you can change the light intensity. It goes from 0 up to 100 if you're dealing with these images across here. And also you can obviously change the color as well, which is a really nice feature. It does go from 1600K to 2000 to 20,000K in the colors. There is special effects as well, and you get things like white cycle, HSI cycle, welding, TV, paparazzi, flash, and all other things that you can use with this as well. I'll show a little bit about this later, showing you them working. They are magnetic as well, which is great. So you can stick this onto a light stand or something like that if you're working on your own, and it's a really quite a strong magnet. They also, now this is incredible as well, they're IP68 waterproof. So I think you can take this down to a couple of meters in the water, which could be great if you're doing, say, a pool shot and you want to sort of, you know, take it down a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't go too far, but they are IP68 waterproof lighting. And they have a CRI of 96 plus. Also, there is support for multiple ones to join together, and I'll show you that, how they work a little bit later, because you can add multiple ones together by adding this little attachment on the bottom, and it also comes with a little screw hole there that you can screw into light stands and things like that as well, or you can screw two of these together and have it so you could light up the full body and things like that. Okay, so let's just look at the specifications or the features that this has. I'm just reading out of the manual here. So it says it's IP68 waterproof support. It also says it's got a built-in screw connector, and it can support multiple lights put together, with splicing they're calling it. It has a built-in magnet as well, and I'll show that working. It's got built-in 20 kinds of special effects, so there is 20 special effects that are in there. Built-in 28.5 wattage hour battery, so that gives you 2.8 hours of runtime. App control, built-in Bluetooth module. Like I said, I haven't been able to use that at this stage though, because the iPhone app isn't out yet. It has a CRI of 96 plus. The light itself is called the MT1. So that's what this is here. And this is the type of box that they come in. Okay, so in the box, you get some nice little instructions, so you can read through those, and they are quite detailed little units, so it might be good to go through that. And this is the unit itself. So let me just shut that away. And we'll take this out of the protective plastic packaging. So they come in this nice little case, which is really nice actually, because you've got a little shoulder strap that you can carry it around with, which will be great to lug around as well. So I am going to keep these. It's something I didn't have with my ice lights. So if we open it up, I'll show you what's inside this. So inside the unit itself, this is the light. You also get that little attachment that I showed you here. Let me just pull this out. That's the little attachment that joins two of them together. You get a light stand, so you can stand this on its own, and I'll show you all of these working a little bit later. I'll put that down there. Now the light stand is plastic, so it's not amazing quality, but you know, I mean, you're not paying a fortune for this light, so I think it's pretty good for what you get. Also inside here, you've got your USB-C cable that will charge this light up. You have some other little attachments too if you want a little hand strap that you could screw that into your little hand strap as well. And then we've got the light, which we can look at here. Really nice. So basically they have covers over everything like a USB port. I suppose that's to enable it to be waterproof, which is nice as well. They have a little protector over the LCD screen while they're in. But they're nice little units. I mean, they feel quite well. They are only plastic. I mean, you do get what you pay for, but it does feel like a nice plastic that you've got here. And so what we'll do now is we'll have a look at them in the studio and I'll sort of show you how they work. So here I just wanted to show how you can attach the light with the little 1/4 inch screw. So here I just wanted to show how you could attach the light to a tripod if you wanted to hold it. So here I just wanted to show how you could attach the light to something like a light stand if you wanted to work without any help, and it works quite good with that. It just screws directly into that little attachment that fits at the end of the light itself. Okay, so let's start this up. So all we do is press the power button here, and then you'll see the SOONWELL logo will show up. Now it's on CCT at the moment, so this is just your how you can balance between daylight and incandescent type lights. Now to move around the menu, all you do is you just click down and you'll see that that will move around. If I go down to there, I can then dim this light up or down. So I can go down in power. If you look at the back there, it'll go a lot duller. If I bring up the power, you can see there where it lights up the intensity. Now, if I want to then, say, change the colour, at the moment it's on 5300K. If I go up there, it's 6000, so that will be quite blue. If I go down to the other end, it will go very, very warm as well. So you've got full control over where you'd like to choose that light setting. So that's good because you can match the ambient setting that's sort of around. If you click over here too, you can then go up to the next mode. So this is the HSI mode. And you can see from here too that if you click down again onto the menu, I can change between all of my different colours. So it goes up to 360 degrees. So it'll go from your reds, green, blues, and then back to red again. If you wanted to as well, you can click on the menu here and let me just go down to dim. I can then dim that. So at the moment, it's on about 70%, so I can go to 100, or I could take it right down to 0. So you really have got a lot of control over this because you can see I can jump up to just 2% or whatever I'd like to go up to. So it's great in that regard that I can really balance to the settings that I need. If I go saturation, it's 100% saturation at the moment. If I take it down to 0, you'll see that it'll just go to white, or close to white anyway. It's a blue-white. I'll bring that saturation right up as well. You've also got this CCTS mode where you can go down and change your color temperature directly from 20,000 Kelvin, as you can see right now. If I take that down, it will go down all the way to 1600 Kelvin. So that's another mode that you've got as well. So with your RGBW mode, you can change your individual channels here. So you can just work from the red, green, blue, and the white. Now the good thing here is that you can put your number in from 1 to 255. So if you're after an exact color, you can program that into here and get the exact color that you want to get. Next mode is all of your special effects type modes. You can see if we're looking down at the moment that that's just on TV. I'll just go through a few of these. There's cop car that we've got there. Storm, so it's like it's lightning. Now there's 20 of these modes that you can use. HSI pulse, it's just giving pulsing of different colours. CCT pulse, HSI flash, that's just like a flash. You've got paparazzi, which is like the flashes firing off for the paparazzi. Fire, so that's meant to simulate a fire. Party, so it's just lights like party lights. Bad bulb, so it's meant to look like a bad light bulb. And fireworks, so it gives you a firework effects. Now if you have, like I said, if you got a couple of these, you could get some really interesting effects. This is explosion, so it's more meant to simulate an explosion, etc. So there's lots of those that you can use as well. So the menus are really nice, so they work very, very well. They're very easy to use if you're looking through these here, and you can have a lot of fun with these as well. Now you've also got a memory as well, so if you want to, you can put in memories and call those memories back up. So depending on how you set it, you can save it in the memory banks to this, and then you could immediately call those settings back as well. So that's another handy feature too. So the interface is really quite good. Now I have measured it on full power, just in your normal standard lighting, and on ISO 800 at 1 meter away, I can be 1/25th of a second at 2.8. So it gives you an idea about sort of the working range that you'd have with this. And that's quite good. I mean, 800 ISO in the latest cameras like the Sonys I use is nothing, so I wouldn't hesitate to go near that at all. Some of the advantages though with this are I can take this out into the rain. I don't have to worry about it at all. So it will be great for things like weddings as well. And one of the great things about it too is that with the attachment that it comes with, you can screw them together, and then you'd be able to use these as one unit, which is really nice as well. So you'd be able to light up, say, the full body or something like that, which is good. So what we'll do now is we'll go out into the studio and we'll have a play around, and I'll just sort of give you an idea about how you could use this in the studio or even outdoors. Unfortunately, I can't go out at the moment because here in Melbourne we're in lockdown, so I haven't got the ability to go out and shoot with it. I really can't wait to, say, use these in weddings and things like that. It should be a lot of fun. Like I said, this was the stand that it comes with, so if you wanted to, you could just screw this in like this. And then you could just stand that down somewhere as well if you wanted to light up something in that regard. I mean, it wouldn't be a person, it could be if it was a bit further away, but you could just do it this way as well. So the great thing about this too, if I take this off, is it does have that magnetic side to this. So I could just stick it on here and then it will sit like this, so it's magnetic, which is great. So if you're trying to work on your own, you know, you haven't got an assistant or something like that, you could just put this onto a light stand or something like that and it'll work perfectly in that regard. So it's really neat. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to light Susie up. Now, because we're in isolation, we can't have models and stuff, so I just thought I'd show Susie. Later on, another time, hopefully when I can get some models and stuff, we might be able to do another shoot at a much later date, once we can get back to normal, but you know. So I thought I'd show you Susie. So we're in a dark room at the moment. Now I'm going to just turn one light on now, so you'll sort of see the effect of this being turned on. So then you can immediately see. Now I'm about 1 meter away from Susie, probably a fraction closer than that. So I'm about 1 meter now. So Kerry will take a photo now just of that, so we can have a look at what this looks like just here. Now the good thing is here, now we can just move this around. So the great thing about having this is that you can just move it to wherever you like to get the effect that you're after. And that's the great thing about having continuous lighting like this. If I wanted to, I can make the light warmer or I can make it cooler. So I'll just show you that. So you can see here that if we were in, we wanted very blue light, I could push this up to being blue. If I wanted to make it very cool, warm, I can take this right down to give a really warm look as well. So you've got full control over having incandescent light or your nice warm or cold lighting as well. Now, if I wanted to, you can see here too that if I move up and down, it does change. Now this isn't enough that you could do a full body. You would basically be able to get the top half of Susie. You could still light the legs up, but it would be pretty hard. So the thing here is you could add two lights together, and I will show that in a minute as well. All right, so what I can do as well, I can match the ambient light that's out there as well. So if I wanted to, I can go right down to 0 and you'll see how it'll dim and turn right off. And then if I click the opposite way, it'll just come on gradually. So you really have got full control over how Susie could look. Now, what if I wanted to say light up the whole body? Well, what I could do is you just screw in these two lights together. What this will do now is it will allow me to be able to light up both. Now you don't see the feet obviously because Susie hasn't got feet, but if I use this now, I would be able to light up the whole body and then move around to wherever I want it to go. So you could use it that way too, and you can sort of see here the way that this looks. So what I'm going to do though is I'll show you another way that I would use this. So let's take the hat off. There's a great way you can do this too, is you could say light the face up from the front, and then you could have the back where she's lit up from the back there. So Kerry can take a picture of this. So, and then you can move this around to get the sort of lighting that you like. So if she had hair, this would be backlit, which would be really nice as well. Now, another thing you could do too is you could say bring it around the front from here, and then you could gently, if you notice at the moment she's got shadows on the other side of the face. Well, I could move the lighting around, but what I can do is sort of have ratios. So I can keep that there, and then I could slowly bring this up underneath to get a different look as well. So that's another type of look that you could get as well, which will give you a softer type of look. Or I could even get like a clamshell lighting where I could light up from underneath and light up from the top, and then I could shoot clamshell lighting like this as well. So now that's using that light, but what I often would like to do too with these is have a play around and use some colours. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make this red. You can see there's nice and bright colours. Well, one interesting thing you could do too is you could add a background colour through here and then add a bit of lighting from the front. So that's another type of effect that you could have with putting it this way too. You know, if we put Susie's sort of hat back on, you know, you'll get an interesting effect if you went like that. So that could be quite good as well. And you can light this, I'd often use this in weddings where I want to light up things at the background, the jewellery and all these sort of things too. You can make it look really quite interesting. So that could be quite nice as well. But what I'm going to do is show you how you could sort of mix colours. So let me just change this as well to a colour. All right, so I've got a nice blue on this one. Now what we could do then is you can then start to have mixed colours. So Kerry will take a picture of this. And that's how you can start to have some really good fun with it. You know, you might say have at the front, you could have say the red at the back, and then you could have like a blue at the front to get some really sort of funky lighting going on here as well. I mean, there's some really interesting things that you could do, and really it's limitless on what you could do with this sort of lighting setup, because you've got the full 360 degrees of colours, so you're going from reds to all different things. You can really mix it up, you know, and get some really interesting effects if you wanted to sort of do sort of things like this. So like I said, it's really an awful lot of fun. I mean, imagine taking this inside a swimming pool, doing things like that where you can light up different colours, sort of things like that, you know, where you're really having a lot of fun with your subject. You'd have an absolute ball with these. So let me know what you think about those images. I mean, it was pretty fun to use, actually. I like the fact that I'll be able to take these out into the rain and things like that for weddings, and you know, and I don't have to worry about that aspect of them getting wet at all. And over summer, once we're out of lockdown, I might even be able to try a pool shoot or something like that with them too, which will be a lot of fun. The build quality, like I said, is plastic, so it's not amazing build quality, but it's certainly good enough for the money that you're paying, and the controls are really quite easy to use. It's just the light itself can be a little bit hard to see, the interface can be a little bit hard to see in daylight, so it's just a pity they couldn't have made that a little bit brighter. But overall, I'm really happy with it. Thank you so much for SOONWELL for sending it to me. I will leave the links down below where you can purchase this from, and that would be great if you could click on those links. Apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.